Hello everybody, I'm back again with another knife review. This is kind of like an initial thoughts video. I haven't had this knife for too long, so this will just be my first impressions of it. So as you can see, I have an HK a knife, Heckler & Koch. This is the one that is produced through Benchmade, and specifically this is the HK model 14210 Access Snody design. So I already took the knife out, so here it is. And it comes with a nice little nice little bag here, a little slipping case, kind of like the blue class Benchmades are coming, except it says HK on the bag instead. So take the pouch away here. So here it is. I'll only bring it up closer to the camera. You can tell it has a nicely textured handle here. But before I begin, let's go and go over some stats. So right now, close length, we're looking at 3.85 inches. The blade length is 2.95, so just under 3 inches. The over length we see is 6.80 inches, and it weighs in just over 3 ounces. The steel is a 154 cm. The handle is textured G10 and is made in the USA. All right, so let's begin. So let's start with handle ergonomics here, and also size. So you notice this is a relatively small folder. So if I put it in the middle of my hand, you can see it's not really that big. And I got pretty small hands. So as I grip it, you can tell I just barely. I can almost palm the whole entire knife. It really isn't that big. It's really great for EDC, and it's very lightweight. So handle ergonomics are great. I love it. The textured G10 provides a little bit of grip along with a small little finger trail here, so when you hold it, your fingers just naturally rest in there. It's really great. And it's got a little mini thumb ramp, which I'll get into a little bit later. But yeah, it feels great in the hand. And I love the design of it. Just the nice aggressive looks of this blade. They have a Tonto style as well. So, but I like the drop point version of it. So, anyway, let me go and zoom in so we can show you some more features of this knife. You can tell it's got dual liners on here. And the liners, if you can kind of see inside there, see if I can get the camera here. There you go. And you notice they're milled out, so it's probably for lightness. So there's dual liners. They're both skeletonized, so that's kind of nice. It is a pillar construction, so it's relatively open design, so you can blow out the dust and clean it out a lot easier. Here's a nice little axis lock here, which is no introduction needed. It is an ambidextrous locking mechanism, so I highly enjoy using it. And there is an adjustable pillar here, there's an adjustable pivot screw here, which you probably don't need to adjust it. It's decently smooth. It's not as smooth as my full-size Griptolium, but it'll swing out when you flick it. So let's see here. And the only thing that's missing here, it doesn't have a lanyard hole for some reason. But what it does have is they try to mount the pocket clip as high as possible to not allow very much to show. But they didn't really do too good of a job because look, a lot still shows. It is reversible, however, but you just can't make it a tip down carry. It's only tip up carry only. The other thing is, you notice how this pocket clip, when it's mounted, it covers the last screw here. So if you were to ever want to take this knife apart, you have to take the pocket clip off first before you can remove these handle scales. So that was just something different I've seen. No, most of the time they're trying to work around the screws. So this is one of the few models I've seen that they actually cover up the screws with the pocket clip. The little section in the pocket clip that's milled out to probably save on weight. Pocket clip scratches rather easily though, as I just noticed here. I haven't carried it this long. Look, it's already scratched up. I do like it though. It's a really strong pocket clip, and it's nicely shaped too. So let's go on to the blade here. As you can see here, it says 154 cm. And you see it says made in the USA down here near the Picasso. And it says HK on the other side with the model number, the 14210. What I do like is this blade has great amounts of belly, and it's great for piercing, the shape of it, because there's a little swedge taken out of here, and it thins the knife down, so it's great for piercing. And it has a slight recurve here as well. And guess what? It's sharpened all the way down to the Picasso, so there's no wasted blade. There's a nice little thumb ramp here and let's see if I can bring it close to the camera. And you notice it's very good jimping on here. Your fingers just lock right in there. It's beautiful, and a nice little ramp on there. And it just feels very good, and your thumb just locks in. Furthermore, there's a little swedge here, a little section taken out here, where if you want to go in for finer cutting tasks, you can put your thumb. It just kind of falls right in there, and you can go in there and just do little minor finer cutting tasks. That requires more attention to detail. The thumb studs are great. First of all, let me show you this. The thumb studs actually protrude past the handle scales, so when you go to reach for it, it's just right there. You don't have to dip down past the handle scales to get to the thumb stud. So I think they did this really well. And these ridges are sharply cut, so as soon as you push your push your thumb into it, it'll just catch and you can just open it up. So it's a great design. Design aesthetics, this is something I always criticize, where they make the tang hang out like this, you know, between the handle scales here. So this is just something minor, but you know, this is where the blade stop is. You know, that's how this designed. There's nothing I can do about that. But it's just a little bit of a annoyance to me when I see that. But again, not a deal breaker. The blade is perfectly centered in the middle of the handle scales when it's closed. I love it. You know, just very nice. And this the handle, first of all, is thick, you know, and it's very nice. When you have it open and you grab onto it, it just feels good. You don't feel like you're grabbing onto too thin of a knife and it's hard to open or handle, so it's great. It's easily able to be flicked out with the both the right and the left hand. So see how nicely that flicks out. It's just very smooth. Not some smooth knife I've ever used, but it's decently smooth, and it locks up very tightly. There's like no play whatsoever, left, right, up, or down. So now let me show you, actually let me open it up and show you this next to a full-size Benchmade Griptilian. Oops, there we go. So we'll put it right next to its larger cousin here, and see it's just slightly smaller. So, but it almost looks like a mini grip actually. In fact, I think it's about the same size as a mini grip, just that the blade isn't as thick probably. Any rate, so this is a very nice knife to EDC. It's very lightweight, it's small, it's compact. You know, I have smaller hands, so I like the smaller size of knives. They do make a 3.3-inch blade version, I believe. You know, which will equal almost roughly closer to the size of the full-size Griptilian. But so far I've carried it around. I highly enjoy carrying it. I mean, it's a great little knife. I highly recommend anyone to go get it. EDCers, collectors, anybody going camping, you know, you're in the service. I mean, it's a great little knife. It's tough. I have no doubt that this will be able to withstand a lot of abuse, you know. So anyway, this is my review and overall first impression of the Benchmade Heckler & Koch model 14210 access folder by Snody Design. And I will catch you guys on the next review. All right, take care.